guy, but
Man, it's a big fight against Pedro Carvalho on the card here. And when you're saying it's going to be fight of the night, what are your thoughts on the matchup?
it's a good matchup. It's going to be a great fight. I'm just looking in there to do what I do, and that's it. Yeah.
This is a matchup that's kind of been talked about online between the two of you for a long, long time. You've been jawing back and forth on social media. What are your emotions towards Pedro as an opponent?
I have no emotions. Like, it's just banter. You know what I mean? Like, we talk a little shit here and there, go in, get it done, and after that, it's all good. Like, to me, it's just banter. I don't have anything against that guy personally or whatever. We're there to do a job, put on a show, and that's what we're going to do.
Obviously, coming off your first loss at Bellator, but number 3 versus number 5, do you think this is a fight that can re-propel yourself towards, that title contention?
Oh, definitely. Of course, when two ranked guys is fighting each other, it's always like there's implications of a title shot being right around the corner, right? So, yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, and obviously, your last fight in the UFC was, a very competitive fight against Arnold Allen. To see where he's gone on in his career now, does that kind of give you, some great confidence in the level of your performance and the level that you're at?
Yes and no, but also just being at Extreme Couture and training with all the great guys that comes in and out of that gym, like, yeah, that gives me confidence and know where I stand amongst the top. Yeah.
How do you see yourself winning against Pedro on Friday night?
I see myself, I know it's a boring answer, but I just go in there and do me. If I do like 80% of what I did to Adam Borix, this guy's going to be in a hospital for 3 weeks. So, yeah.
Your teammate Pachi had a bit of success silencing the home crowd here the last time now. What did he tell you about that experience and what do you hope to bring to this one?
I was in his corner for that one. So, I pretty much had the exact same experience as him, except I just didn't fight, but the crowd was insane. It was like straight out of a movie. I think it's like the craziest crowd I've ever been in front of, like, no matter what organization, what country, whatever. The Irish people really seem to support their athletes, and that's super cool. That's how it should be. So,
You've been calling for a fight on Bellator Dublin cards pretty much since they've started. What is it specifically about fighting in Dublin that you really wanted?
first of all, it's close to home, so a lot of my friends and family can come watch, because my last couple, I think 3, 4 fights have been in America, so they haven't really been able to watch, especially also because of COVID. So now it's like an hour and a half, 2-hour flight from Copenhagen, so I got some guys coming out and watching, and yeah, just, mix it up. I've been fighting 4 times in America, fighting in front of that crowd here in Dublin would be cool, and now we're here.
And finally, all goes your way on Friday. What's the next name out of your mouth that you want next?
I've heard rumors that they're going to do a show in Japan on New Year's Eve, and I know Scott Kogi is the king of Japan, so I'd like to go represent Bellator on that card. But right now, my calendar ends on Friday. I got Pedro in front of me, and that's what I'm focused on.
Appreciate that. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Matt, Pedro's a very popular fighter here in Dublin. Does it mean anything to you? You're probably going to be the villain when you walk out on Friday night.
I don't give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, it's only me and him in there. And I don't even think half of the arena in there knows that guy's is Portuguese, or like he's like an adoptive son. Yeah, he might be adopted by SBG, but not by fucking Dublin.
Obviously, you're both coming off losses. Does that add any pressure to both of you, do you think?
No, not really. I'm just like, yeah, going in. It's a fight, every time I have this philosophy, like every time you get into a new fight, every guy's 0-0. So yeah, that's how I look at it.
You mentioned you got a taste of the atmosphere across the road when Pachi was here. Just how excited are you to fight in that Dublin card?
Of course, I'm super excited. It's cool being here, and I'm excited for every fight. Like, of course, it puts a little cherry on top when there's a crowd like that, but like, we could be fighting in the lobby, and I would be excited. Yeah.
And so not your first time here in Dublin, as you said, you've cornered, you've spent some time here fight week before. How much of a difference will that make for you now in your comfortable feelings, being in the same hotel, the same venue? You've seen it all before.
I mean, I'd like to think it does something, but at the end of the day, I don't really know. I usually think of like all the emotions you have during fight week. If it's a good emotion, you can't use it for shit. If it's a bad emotion, you can't use it for anything. Like all the feelings you go throughout, like you can't use it for anything. I just go in there and do what I practice and like live by the sword, die by the sword, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. And so this being touted as the fight of the night, how do you feel that your fighting styles will mix together to make this such an exciting fight? Like, why do you think that everyone thinks this is going to be the best
Because
fight?
I'm in there. Yeah, simple as that. You put me against anybody, and I'll put on a great fight because I bring that pressure. My boxing style, nobody, and I can say this like with no shame in my word or what you say, like nobody in MMA box the way I box and do the things I do with my boxing. I bring the pressure and that kind of guard and like kind of old school boxing. That is exciting in itself. All respect to Borix in our last fight, but if you take somebody else, put somebody else in the picture against him, that fight is not as exciting as it was last time, and I think it's going to be the same as this time. Exciting. Yeah.
What is it about your boxing that's different? Do you look at historic boxers and try to emulate those?
I study a lot of boxing, and back in the day, the gloves used to be smaller, and they used to have more active guards and like cross guarding and shoulder rolling, as you see Mayweather do, but he stole that from the old school guys. So I try to implement that a lot in MMA. Of course, it depends on who I'm fighting too, but in a way, I think it do me a disservice a little bit sometimes, because a lot of the casual fans and they don't understand what they're seeing. So I might be like blocking and rolling, and they'd be like, "Oh, he got hit clean." I remember there was this thing where me and Borix were fighting, and I blocked, rolled, and then I did like a dance move, right? And there was this dumb motherfucker from BBC who was like, "Oh, he get punched 3 times or 4 times, and then he does a dance." I'm like, dude, you are for sure covering soccer during your daily routine because you don't know shit about boxing. Because if you actually look, I'm like blocking, rolling, blocking, dodging, and then I'm like doing a little shimmy, right? So this dude didn't know jack shit of what he was covering. Yeah, and I saw my fight against Emmanuel Sanchez too. It's like I love Big John, but he's like, "Oh, Mass is getting hit by these punches." Then by accident, there's a slow mo, and in the slow mo, there's the punch stats, and you see I roll, block. He didn't hit me with 1 punch. The punch stats go up with 4 punches. Like the fuck? What is this? Yeah.
And a lot of talk about boxing, but you're one of the fastest people ever to get a black belt. You've been a black belt for what, like 8 years now or something like that. You're only 28.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, where do you feel like as far as coming into your prime, considering you hit the ground running so quickly, where are you now as far as in relation to your prime?
Relating to my prime?
To your prime capabilities, you're only 28 years old still.
Everybody always say like, "Oh, I'm in my prime now. I'm in the shape of my life." Like, the fact is, nobody knows when you're in your prime. You don't know when you're in your prime. Like, I just focus on now and what I can do now and go in and do me. And if it's my prime now, cool. If it's not my prime, well, cool too. If I'm over my prime, fuck. But I'm just going in there to do me. I'm not focusing too much on all that stuff. Yeah.
One last question for me. Patricio Pitbull and Adam Borch are fighting next month for the title. How do you see that fight going?
I actually think they're kind of similar in style because they're both like snipers and they like to fight on the outside. Borix doesn't have so much power, but I think it's going to be tough for Pitbull to win that fight if he doesn't put pressure on Borix. And I don't see him do that, so I actually think Borix is going to outpoint him. Yeah.